is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte, and we are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Folks, the wait is over. Jessica Jones Season 2 is finally here. That is right. Yes, you were correct to applaud. Go ahead. Yes. As of 3 a.m. Eastern Time today, all 13 episodes dropped and are available right now on Netflix. Hell, some of you joining us live may just be coming down from binging the whole thing. And to you, madam or sir, I say, go to sleep. Honestly, it's been a long day, all right? But if you can, wait till after our show. But then get some rest, okay? Today not only marks the release of Jessica Jones Season 2, but it is also International Women's Day. And that's about as perfect a match as, like, what, Charlie Brown and Christmas. So I'm pretty sure we're all going home tonight and putting this show on. Pretty sure that guy was watching it right now, right? You had your... No? All right, there we are. So anyway, as if it wasn't obvious, guys, I'm super excited about this, which means I'm thrilled about our next guest. Now, you've seen him on the originals, you've seen him on Empire, but more recently, you've come to know him as Malcolm from The Defenders and, of course, Jessica Jones. And now in Season 2, with Malcolm free of Kilgrave's control and winning his battle with addiction, our guest brings us a whole new side of this character we haven't gotten to see yet. The great Eka Darville is here, folks. How about that? Make some noise. Come on. Now, for those who have not yet seen the show, we've got a quick peek at Malcolm in action this season. So let's go ahead, Luke, run that clip.
You want to work for Price?
No, that's why I'm telling you. He's trying to screw with you. And
Yeah, it sounds like it.
look, Jess, you saved my life. You've got me clean. You've given me somewhere to be every day. But I can't just sit in your office and do nothing. You know, addicts, we're not good at doing nothing.
Well, you could always call Price.
Hey, stop treating me like an annoying little brother, okay? I've got skills and you goddamn need me. So you're gonna start trusting me and teaching me and giving me 25% of every case that walks through that door.
$20%.
Yeah.
Malcolm? Glass house here. Throwing no stones.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Eka Darville right here. Make some noise. Eka Darville.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for being here and carving out some time. I know you guys have been crazy busy. This is the big day. It's very exciting. There's so much to discuss. You had the premiere. I want to get into all of that. But first, man, just how are you doing? How is Eka doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm a
doing
little
all right?
dusty. You can probably hear that in my voice. We had the premiere last night, and it was real fun. That's all I'll say.
It sounds like it. Sounds like. Yeah, forget the spoilers. I want to know what happened to the premiere. What's you guys were out all night, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. It was just like such a great opportunity to get to celebrate all this work that we've done and get to have everybody back together for, yeah, just a wild little time celebrating an amazing show.
How long ago did you guys wrap up? How long has it been since you had everybody together?
When did we finish? We finished in like September of last year, so it's been a minute.
Yeah, so it's a nice little reunion then.
Yeah,
Getting
yeah.
everybody back together,
Yeah,
seeing
exactly.
everybody again. Oh, man, that's a trip. We were talking back there. You've only had an opportunity to see a very limited quantity of the finished show.
I was just laughing like an audience member watching that because that was like the first time for me seeing it as well. Yeah.
Talk about that experience, man, of going in there. You got your family back around you again. You've got this big setting, huge screen. Everybody's there. You're watching it for the first time. What did that feel like? What kind of emotions are going through you as you've seen it all play out?
The premiere is full rock star mode, so there's like I have my whole squad of boys there, and so getting to roll in with them and seeing what like a Netflix show that you're used to watching on like a TV screen or on a laptop, to get to see that on the big screen is just like an incredible. It's shot like a film, so you get to really like appreciate just the artwork that's gone into it, the energy behind it, and it was it was amazing. It's like. You feel very, very cool. That's all I'll say.
Very cool, for sure, man. Well, I was saying in the intro, it came out. It's out today at 3 a.m. to be precise, which means by about now, in theory, people could have watched the entire thing And I gotta wonder, you've worked on TV before, you've done stuff like this before, but is it weird you pour all of this time into this project? I imagine it takes a minute to film something like this, a lot of post work, all this, and people blast it out in like a long weekend, not even.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how to feel about it. It's really hard because it's literally like 6 months of my life of just painstakingly going through all of this stuff, and it's such a journey and like a rite of passage, and then it's been consumed in 13 hours, and it's like, wow, I don't know how I feel about it, but I think I mean, that's how we're doing media these days, and it's
kind of how it goes. Yeah, at some point within this afternoon, it might even be happening now. Your Twitter feed's going to blow up with questions about when season 3. That's going to be...
I know, already.
We just made this.
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, who knows? I think we'll be back soon.
Oh, yeah, I saw a little wink there. Is that
maybe.
Okay, maybe,
I don't know,
maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know. All
Could
right.
be.
All right, we'll see.
You have to talk to your friends at Netflix.
Well, it's pretty funny. That brings me next. We had Kristen and Rachel were here the other day, and they were phenomenally skilled at tap dancing around the questions as to avoid spoilers or say anything they're not supposed to say.
They've got snipers if you don't, so you get good at it kind of quick.
That's just it. Is that a skill you've had to develop working on a show
Hell
like this?
yeah. Yeah, I just didn't even go on social media for the whole time we're shooting, just in case I did anything that was not kosher. But yeah, it's a hard one, especially with this brand.
Yeah, no, for sure. They kind of make sure you lock that down. Talking about
For good reason. The fans, I mean,
Well, it's part of the experience, right?
Exactly.
Everybody talks about no spoilers, no spoilers. There's a whole no spoiler culture, but at the end of the day, I think you're right. It's for good reason. It adds to the enjoyment of you want to be surprised, especially in a world where there's not a lot of surprises left.
Exactly. I remember when Harry Potter, I think it was, I can't remember which one, but it was the one where Dumbledore dies. And
Spoiler alert, man! Is where the
we all
been
got
long enough.
But that literally happened. Some kid had waited in line at the Barnes and Noble or whatever to get the book as it came out, read it that night, and then came to school and was like, "Hey, Dumbledore dies at the end of the book," and I actually punched him in the nose. Not kidding. Not kidding. I was like, "You have got to be." Yeah. Anyway, so don't give me spoilers, y'all.
Yeah, but also too. You're on Netflix. Where's the spoiler kid? What's he up to these days? I think you had the right idea. There's the sanctity of the story, preserving the experience. That's what it's all about. Speaking of badass females, man, the creator on the show, Melissa Rosenberg. I mean, this whole project. Let's go through this. So you got Melissa. You got creates a show that features badass female characters. And I didn't realize this until I was looking it up. Every episode this season, female director. It's phenomenal. What was that experience like, and what is it like to be a part of something, especially today of days, International Women's Day? You got to be a part of this amazing project. What was that like, and how's that feel?
In all honesty, it was just an honor to work with such devoted and talented creatives. The fact that they were female is such a secondary factor in the whole experience, and we really started off with, it was Ali Gross, who's over at Netflix. She suggested that we would have half of female directors. Mel brought half to her, and she was like, "Well, why don't we just go?" Once we started digging into it, it was like it's such an untapped talent pool of just incredible creatives, and I know what it's like to, as a black actor, to have to work twice as hard to get half the recognition, and these women are really just the best people for the job. It wasn't so much that they were championing being like the fact that we have all female directors. It was really about just getting the best person for the job, and they're incredible artists and incredible directors. They each brought such unique talents and skill sets to the project, and then having a show that has so many powerful females in the running the show and the entire creative process, it really creates an environment of safety and inclusion on set. And what that led to was this real collaborative environment, which was very different to any other set that I've ever been on before. And honestly, it's an honor. And on the topic of all of this like Me Too and everything that's going on, I think like the biggest misconception that's going on is that patriarchy has somehow been less shitty for men. And under its current form, I think all you have to do is look at suicide stats to understand that it's not working for us either. And so I am a steadfast ally in all of this, and I'm proud to be a part of it and to support these incredible women and what they do.
For sure. I mean, and like I said, for me, I didn't realize I had watched the 5 episodes. And I didn't realize it until after I was doing like the extra research and things and that, and looking things up. And I was like, that's pretty amazing. Because as you're watching it, you're not thinking about, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. I never think about this looks like a man directed it or this looks like a woman directed. No, it's just like, oh,
Exactly.
whoever did this knew their shit, man, and this looks amazing.
Exactly.
And those are the genuine thoughts that I'm having. And then I go back and I find out, oh, this is really cool. I had no idea. So it is one of those things where it's funny that you're like, we weren't, oh, yeah, we're champion. No, if you're doing it right, man, you're just all really good at your job and you're just all having a good time doing what you love to do and doing a damn
Exactly.
fine job of it. Yeah. Well, this reads for sure. All right, I'm going to give you the test now. We talked about not being able to give away spoilers. Here's the big question.
Okay.
I want you to tell me what you can about Malcolm this season. Give us a sense of where he is, how he's different from season 1. Don't give anything away, but tell us everything.
Very good. I see what you did there. Yeah, so Malcolm, this season, we pick up where we left off at the end of The Defenders, actually, which is he's putting his life back together post-Kilgrave, post-heroin addiction, and it's really about him finding his feet and defining himself. Like, this season very much is a coming-of-age story for Malcolm. He's, as we saw in that little clip, he's setting boundaries for himself. He's getting clear on who he is as a human being and as a man, and really, really kind of stepping into his own. And we dig a little bit into his backstory and where he's come from and what it is that makes him who he is. But almost more importantly, we really look at where he's going and who he's becoming. And that's
Well, yeah, and that, well done. You've passed the test. Yeah. It was really exciting to watch, and I was excited almost really to talk to you to find out, especially as an actor, what it was like to explore Malcolm sort of untethered, right? Because when we first meet him, you're under the influence of Kilgrave, you're addicted to heroin, all these different things, and it's a very different type of performance that you have to find and give as an actor. And now you really get to explore Malcolm, like the person on his own, out in the world, finding himself. What was that experience like for you? Was that exciting? Going into it, finding out you'd get to do this?
Absolutely. It was like, honestly, it felt like I got to come out of hiding, because there's so many, I feel like with the drug addiction stuff, there's so many like physiological things going on where I was snorting saline solution, because one of the things that people who are detoxing off of that particular drug is they always have a running nose. And so like you've got that, you've got, there's so much going on in just like their joints are constantly hurting. So you've got like particular walks and particular ways of moving, and it all felt like it was very rewarding as an actor to get to dive into that and play that. But it's also, it's a lot, like it's like a grueling experience. And so just to get to kind of like wash all of that off and not look totally strung out and be able to go back to the gym and have some fun, like play with him and just let him be who he is, and let that shine and come through, and have a little bit of sass and have a little bit of sexiness and have a little bit of all of those things was really just a joy. It was the most I've enjoyed going to work was this season.
For sure. You can see that joy and you get that fun. And like I said, it's a lot of fun watching him do it, because you know this character, but you haven't gotten to see him this way before, and it's very exciting. You were planting the seeds for that. We got to see sort of the beginning of that in The Defenders, you know, and a little bit here and there. How far apart for you was the shoot between Defenders and Jessica Jones?
A grand total of 3 days.
No way! One or the other.
Yeah. It was like, it was no sleep. And for The Defenders, I was flying back and forth because I'm LA based, and so I was like, it's just way too many flights, and then we kind of like, it was. I mean, the gap between season 1 and season 2 was just so long that it was like the world's longest foreplay ever. So we were just good to go by the time it rolled around. It was we were ready. And so The Defenders was kind of like, it felt a bit more like that, of like, it felt like we were going to get into it, but there wasn't really a ton for me to do. And then so by the time we came into it, it was good.
Well, yeah, that's just it, right? The Defenders, there's so many spinning plates, so many things they're juggling and trying to keep going in this one series. So you can only have so much to do versus Jessica Jones, where you really get to do a deep dive on this character. What was the vibe like? Was it two completely different worlds, even though they were only 3 days apart? Could you tell I'm on the Defenders set, now I'm on Jessica Jones set?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, The Defenders is a ton of fun, and I think it's wonderful for the fans, particularly of like the comic book genre, of like that whole team up culture is really like, they love it. And but as an actor, Jessica Jones is where it's at. That's where I've really got the juice and the meat and like some really, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Play and really explore and have fun with it. I was reading something too that I thought was really interesting. The costume folks were saying this year for Malcolm that they actually were pulling from your style to like influence how Malcolm looks. One, did you know that, or did you show up one day and you were like, "Did I bring that in?" And two, how cool was that? And what else have you brought, if anything, from yourself into Malcolm to sort of flesh out this side of him this season?
Okay, so let's go. Yeah, no, it's good. That was great. No, this is great. This is good. Yeah, so the costuming, we have like an incredible costume department on Jessica Jones, particularly this season. They've really pulled out all the stops, and towards the end of this season, you really get to see Malcolm play with that. My personal style, I think, has influenced it more it was like I pulled from an older version of me because Malcolm he's psychologically, he's in what I went through kind of in just like post-high school kind of phase where it's really kind of moving into the world. And so I pulled from a lot of Australian brands that I really like and whatnot that just feel like it's just kind of guy clothes. It's not like, there's nothing super overly stylish about it or anything, but I felt like it allowed me to access a part of me that I was using in service of this character. And I guess to answer your second question, that is something that I do a lot. My kind of underlying principle on acting in general is that we have all of the different parts in us. We have all of the different archetypes make up every person, and especially as a man. And I really, when looking at a character, I want to, rather than distance myself from it, I want to dive into the part that I want to lean away from. So if there's a thing that I can't do as Ika Darville sitting here today, that makes me uncomfortable, then how am I going to be able to do it when I've got a camera pointed in my face, 60 crew waiting around for me to do it? And so it's like a tool for personal growth, and so I find a lot of myself in every single character that I choose to play, and I feel like that would be across the board regardless of what it was.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I know this might be a difficult question to answer, but coming off of that, is there something you remember specifically about Malcolm that you were like, that's going to be tough, I need to lean into that, I need to figure that out?
Yeah, the addiction. I've never been an addict of any form. I've been quite like rebellious against even coffee, because I don't like being controlled by anything, and so if I feel like I need something, then I'll consciously choose to not have that, just to kind of deprive myself from it, to see what I'm using as a crutch. But one of the things that I really got from Malcolm was a real compassion piece, because we're all addicts of one form or another, and it's whether it's like a substance like heroin, which is easy to kind of relegate and go, oh yeah, well, he's an addict or whatever, or if it's sex, or if it's work, or if it's money. And you just have to go down the street, down to Wall Street, and you can see a whole bunch of addicts getting around in their fancy ass suits looking really cool, and no one's judging them. And so it's one of those things that I in the process that I was describing before, actually found compassion through that, of going, okay, so this is the thing that I want to lean away from. Where do I find that within myself? And for me, it'd be in work and my focus on career and this idea of success.
How do you? Well, let's keep getting heavy, because we're going to go to the audience in a second. But I'm enjoying this line of conversation. How do you at this point define success? What do you consider success?
Whew.
Yeah, man, we're going in.
I think that the only thing that is truly successful in this world, and I've met enough people that are at the absolute top of the game, whether it's in financial or whether it's in fame or whatever it is, that are extremely unhappy, that it really comes down to being of service. It's how you, it's really through giving that you get. It's almost like a selfish thing. And it's, yeah, so I guess it's a person who's gives it all and has people around them that can attest to the quality of their character, and then also who just give a shit. That's really it. Yeah,
Well done, sir. I didn't mean to throw that out. I love asking that question, especially of individuals that have achieved what many would consider to be a very successful position. Here you have this amazing show, season 2.
This is just the beginning,
you
people.
got the beautiful coat, and you got all these things, and everybody look at it. That's a beautiful coat.
This is what
Can we
success
talk about
looks
this
like,
coat?
people.
This is a beautiful coat. But my coat that I love. Externally, everybody defines success a certain way. I do it through the coat.
Yeah.
And I enjoy.
All power to you, man.
enjoy getting in there, man, and hearing what you think about it, and hearing it from the other side. So thank you for answering that, and thank you for your.
No, thank you for the
candor,
insightful
man.
question.
I got one more because we do have to go to the audience, but there's one question. I watched 5 episodes, and this was bugging me, man, and I got to find out if you could tell me. One of the things.
The answer it's no. But
No,
yeah,
hang
let's
on.
go.
You might be able to tell me this.
Okay.
I don't think this qualifies as a spoiler, all right? Remember, I only saw 5 of them.
All right.
And one of the things we talked about is Malcolm, in fighting his addiction, has to keep busy, right? He's always keeping busy. So one of the things we see him doing a lot is fixing up the office. And I see it. There's the bullet holes in the back from last season. He's got those patched up and whatnot. And there's this one section, all right? And it's like the wall that leads to the kitchen. This dude, we see every bit of it in the first fight. He's sanding it down. He's putting the plaster up. We come back, and every time we come back, I'm like, maybe he painted it this time. I don't know why I got invested in your progress on this project, but we keep coming back. By episode 5, you still haven't painted this damn wall.
Is DIY channel your favorite channel?
It's up there. It's in the top 5. Do you paint the wall? Does it happen? Just tell me so I got closure. Am I going to see a finished wall?
That is a spoiler I can give away. Yes, you will, and it's an important part of his story. Yeah. But the reason
Weirdest thing for me to get hung up on. But you guys keep coming back to it. And I'm like, oh, that wall's going to be important. And I just keep watching.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that you noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It all came about. It all actually came about because I love building stuff, and
Does that translate outside of the screen?
Yeah, because like at the end of season 1, I bought an Airstream down in Pennsylvania, which is like those beautiful kind of like metal, amazing little bubbles. Yeah, and so I towed it and I put it on the lot of Jessica Jones where we were working, and and renovated it and built it up from scratch. And so I had like a lot of support from all of the crew because we have like this incredible resource of like all these amazing tools and all the set dressers and everything. So I got really close with like the people that are behind the scenes through doing that. And then eventually showrunners came down and saw me doing it and were like, oh, you can build? Okay. And then next minute, Malcolm's building. So
That's so awesome. Have you taken the Airstream? Have you taken it out?
Yeah, hell yeah. I towed it across America. I've towed it from New York back to California. It's my guest house now. But I try and get away for little surf trips up the coast and whatnot.
All right. Well, thank you for indulging me. I'm excited to hear that. I look forward to seeing the finished project. We're going to turn it over. We got some microphones in the room. First question's right here.
How you doing, Eka?
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you. I'm Markel. First of all, I wanted to say I didn't realize until I was watching Jessica Jones the first season your role in Power Rangers, and I was like, oh my god, like the Red Ranger's a crackhead, like this is crazy. The Red Ranger's a crackhead. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry, I digress.
Scott Truman, he shifted his shit up.
But I was, not to spoil anything, but like one of the running gags in the show is Jessica constantly firing you. And the fact that like you always refuse. So I wanted to know, like, how does the refusal of her firing you play into the role of your recovery as well as Jessica's recovery?
That's a really cool question. For me, Malcolm and Jessica are like family. That he is the metaphorical representation of her little brother, and you can't fire family, and so it's essentially that. He keeps coming back, and the reason why she trusts him is just because he keeps showing up. He's just there. He's the one person that she really allows herself to be really vulnerable with, and they have this like fun banter of love-hate that they have going on, and I think it's just very indicative of family to me. Yeah, pleasure.
We've got time. We're going to go to one more question in a second, but talking about the family banter and getting together. I'm sorry. Hang tight 1 second. Hang on. I don't want to lose this. We were talking backstage. Everybody feels like a big family. Coming into season 2, having that opportunity on screen to do that, to have that banter and all that, a little bit more than season 1. Have you grown closer? Did it really crystallize this season, or from day one have you guys kind of felt that close?
To the latter of the two. First season was tough because we all, like, Kristen was working every single scene, and most of us only had scenes with her, not a lot of scenes with each other, and so we were kind of like high fives in the hallway. It wasn't like super close, but yeah, this season, and especially after, it was really post season 1 and the success of the show that we really kind of galvanized together. And Rach and I are super close just by the nature of that we're both from Australia, and she's just an incredible human. And Kristen and I have gotten, super close. I mean, she's an absolute powerhouse of a woman, and it's like working with her is like a masterclass in how to know your shit. And she's on it. We're close.
High Fives in the Hallway, also the name of your autobiography. I'm going to give that to you. You should remember that. That's a good one. High Fives in the Hallway. All right, last question. Here it is. Sorry for making you wait, but thank you. Let's go. What do you got?
Hey, so a couple questions. I know since it's a superhero movie, show, but you don't have any powers. Are there still any physical aspects to your role that are challenging, or do you have any stuntmen doing any of your parts? And second question is, now that you have a break from second season, what are you doing now, or are you still thinking about the next season?
Yes and yes and yes. So, in answer to your first question, like, because of Power Rangers, and prior to that, I've actually done a ton of stunting, and I'm a certified stunty back in Australia, and I love that part of things. I've been a martial artist my whole life, and so I would love to be able to do more. Malcolm, just by the nature of his place within Jessica Jones, isn't out there kicking ass, and I think that's totally appropriate. But yeah, I mean, I put on, I think it was like 19 pounds of muscle for season 2 from like what I emaciated away for the heroin in the first season. So, I trained a lot, and it was a lot of fun. And then, so in answer to your second question, can you refresh me on? Oh, what am I doing next? You can check me out on a little independent film with Jim Rash and David Koechner and Mae Whitman, which will be out very soon, called Bernard and Huey, which is a lot of fun, very low budget. We're the closing film at Slam Dance, which is a fantastic little festival, and it'll be in cinemas soon, which is really cool for a film that was made for the budget that it was. It's a fun piece, so you can go and check that out. And then, I can't tell you the other ones because I won't get them if I do.
Do that dramatic turn with the Red Ranger crackhead we've all been reading about. Is that what we're going to get? We're going to get that finally? We're going to...
That was for you, homie.
Oh, fantastic. Ega, thank you so much again, man. We got to wrap it up. But everybody, as if I need to tell everyone in this room, but everybody out there, Jessica Jones Season 2 right now on Netflix.
Now.
Go watch it if you haven't already. Go back to watching it if you took a break to watch us. And then Bernard and Huey, is that the name of the film?
That's the one.
And where's the people look for that? Where can they check that out?
In cinemas, I don't know.
In cinema. All right, Google it up. Bernard and Huey. Everybody put your hands together, make some noise, join me. Eka Darville, come on.